Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where 2 reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the Pre-Fixe, your weekly pop culture roundup.
Listeners, just so everyone knows, we record the Pre-Fixe in the late afternoon on Tuesdays, which means although you may know who the next president of the United States is, we do not. So we cannot really comment on it. We also don't really do politics on this broadcast, but I will say this. Because of the remarks made about Puerto Rico about 2 weeks ago at the Trump rally at MSG, Jennifer Lopez, who I feel safe in saying is America's highest ranking Puerto Rican celebrity.
Absolutely, 1,000,000% correct.
Was called upon to speak at a Kamala Harris rally prior to the weekend. I watched it until I saw J-Lo utter the one line that when anyone says it on a microphone, I click them off right away. And that was when she said, you know, I didn't want to get emotional. And in my head, I say, yes, you did. Goodbye.
Yes,
I'm going to go back to watching Kathy Bates on Matlock. Thank you. Whenever any person, particularly an actor, says that, it's just like, not only were you going to get emotional, you planned it from the moment you woke up, actually. So,
and in response to that, I will say this. Let's get loud.
While Jennifer Lopez is on the tips of our tongues, we did, as advertised, go to the screening of Unstoppable, starring Jharrel Jerome and Jennifer Lynn Lopez as his mother, and the very hunky but disturbingly portrayed, Bobby Cannavale as Jharrel Jerome's stepfather, in the true story about a legless wrestler. That sounded terrible. A wrestler with one leg. Why does the word legless sound more offensive than just one-legged?
But I think that like what we need to know about this is that he's wrestling people with 2 legs. Like that was, I thought it was like, and I was like, oh,
like a Special Olympics situation.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the Paralympic wrestlers. You know what I mean?
No.
But it's him wrestling people with 2 legs and winning all of them. And it was very uplifting. I really liked the movie.
Yeah, the movie is not bad. I wouldn't give it an Academy Award.
Is it winning J-Lo an Oscar? Absolutely not.
Right. So our plan was to show up to the screening that Jennifer Lopez was attending and somehow get some cues in for that Q&A. And then on the way there, we were thinking, we are idiots if we think anyone in the general public is going to be able to ask Jennifer Lopez a goddamn thing.
Even address her.
Yeah. The moderator softballed her. They only spoke about the film. By the way, Jennifer Lopez is definitely one of God's 10 most naturally beautiful creations.
Okay. We sit down. We watch the movie. We watch the whole movie. We're there. We're seeing it. We're doing it. We're blah, blah. Then it's like, okay, time for the Q&A. Here come the chairs out. Here come the little director's chairs. Here comes the little tables with the little Fiji waters. And the whole place is aflutter. And you see all these people start to come up and they come up and they come up and you see the guy, the real wrestler with the one leg with his on his crutches, and he's coming up and you're like, oh, there's him. There's the guy that plays him. There's the mom. And then out as if a spotlight came down just for her.
Yep.
She emerges from the stairs. And when I tell you, a global superstar walked in the door. It's like you felt it.
It's unmistakable. And look,
unmistakable.
We love her and we do give her a hard time a lot on this broadcast.
Rightfully so.
She is a star with a capital S.
Superstar.
Like, you're in her presence and you're like, I love myself, but I'm not worthy to be in this room. She's that level of like hot. She just gives off an energy and she's like the reason you love celebrities. She's just that kind of celebrity. She was gorgeous. To
quote a very, very famous listener of ours, Samaya, it was a clistoric moment for us to be in the same room as her.
It was clistery in the making. I will say this as well. If you ever get the chance to watch a film in the cinema with Chris and I at the same time, I highly recommend it because although I know Chris and I have a lot in common, what I didn't know was that we're both movie talkers, basically, like out loud. So when a plot hole comes up, you are hearing me go, here we go. At the same time, Chris gives an out loud, oh, brother. And we're
I'm
just
like, oh, brother, with this one over
here.
P.S. Everything we say every episode on this podcast.
Here we go.
Yeah.
It was all that. It was, it's a pleasure to be in the room with someone who ruins it for the people in the rows in front and behind as well.
I do a lot of sighing. I do a lot of heavy sighing during a movie. Like when a very, very intense moment will happen, like with, J-Lo fighting off Bobby Cannavale and like protecting her children, I would just go, like, or when trouble's afoot and he's about to come in the door and like fight them, like I would always go, I'm very into that. Like
my big thing is to put my hand over my entire face and go, Jesus Christ. When I feel like it's just not gone well or something is amiss. I also make my patented noise. If you know me in person, when something startles me, I go, oh! And whenever there was a wrestling move and someone gets their head slammed on the ground, it's a oh!
Yeah, you did I said pull the Gary Sinise, as I like to call it for you. Whenever they would he would be on the bottom and then he would like flip over and grab the guy and then flip the guy over his shoulder and like slam him down. Yeah, Dominick would go, oh! And
it's not a put on either. That's my natural noise. I must be real fun to live with or see naked. Oh! No wonder I'm oh! But go see the movie. She was poised and lovely. She wore this very short Daisy Duke short brown wool
Gucci wool thing.
Suit.
Yeah.
Please go to our Insta pages to check it out. She was
first thing she said, she goes, is everybody voting? And obviously Rebecca Bregman and I took that upon ourselves to scream, let's get loud at her. So know that again, much like Cher, wasn't it Cher was Whitney Houston was your conversation partner. When you said, we love you, Whitney, much like you were her conversation partner, Rebecca and I were Jennifer Lopez's conversation partner for that.
Now, we do have one issue, though. And here is the issue. I'll kick this off, Chris.
I hope I know what you're about to tell.
You know exactly what it is. It's the how dare you of the week, where everyone was very freely taking photos and video of J-Lo like that. It wasn't even discouraged, to be honest with you.
No, at all. Like at all.
J-Lo and the cast get up to walk out. So they're going out a secret door for superheroes. Obviously, we're doing a separate exit. Everyone in the audience gets up and then has to stand there for a full 10 minutes, because no one was allowed to leave the theater until Jennifer was in her car and down the street. And to that I say, how dare you? I almost peed on the woman in front of me. This is not a joke. I already had to hold it for 2+ hours of wrestling and going, oh, that hurts a bladder. I'll be honest with you. I was under a lot of pressure.
We are just to assume that that's what it was, but like there's no other explanation for why we were held as like they were in the like third level of the Titanic. You know, when they're locking the gates and the guy's like,
I felt impoverished.
Give us a chance to live. Like that's what was happening to us. Like, two humongous security guards like stood in the way of the doors, and we were just, as my father says, trapped like rats.
And we did not get to say what is the plot of Atlas? We did not get to ask about Diddy's gun. We didn't get to do any of these things, but we enjoyed a solid film. I recommend seeing it. The performances were good. If you like wrestling, you're going to love it. The story
itself is very like motivational and uplifting and inspirational. Yeah, I really loved it.
We're pretty lax about those flowers on a podcast like this, but it is a pretty insane story.
I was like, I'm so glad this movie was made and I got to see it.
Yeah. Like real. I can't even climb a flight of stairs with two legs. This guy's a national wrestling champion with one. I'm like,
and climbed a mountain with crutches.
Climbed a mountain with crutches.
Like, yeah.
God, it sounds like they're sponsoring this podcast. Are
and
they?
Meanwhile,
throw us some money.
Basically. Meanwhile, the real guy, like the real wrestler, got on the stage, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is the hottest man I've ever seen in my life!"
He was beautiful. Yeah, he was a piece of ass. We do have some J-Lo and Diddy content to discuss, but let's just hold off in favor of me wanting to say these 3 words all week. SpongeBob has spoken. That's right. Ariana Grande's boyfriend, Ethan Slater, known affectionately to us as SpongeBob, has finally been allowed to speak on the Wicked press tour, saying that criticism of his relationship has been, quote, really difficult. As Chris DeRosa has said in the months leading up, at the Wicked premiere, I do not believe there exists a photograph of Ariana and Ethan standing next to each other. They're always separated by at least Cynthia Erivo,
at least Cynthia Erivo,
and several other cast members. So it's at least we're not shying away from them being a couple, but obviously he's been permitted to talk. And the quote from him to GQ is, "I think there was something that was really difficult about things in your private life being commented on and looked at by the public. There were a lot of big changes in private lives that were happening, and a lot of people were speculating, and people get things wrong about the people you love. And that was really hard." I mean, you were married when you met her. It's like you could dance around that all you want.
No, and like, yeah, sure. Like, and like, that's fame, baby.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Nothing in your life is private when you're in the biggest movie of the year with one of the biggest stars in the world.
Yep. And you're lucky. You are very lucky to have her. Very, very lucky to be there. I will say this. I have tickets now to 4 screenings of Wicked.
Dear God,
I'm only going to go to 1. Because if I show up to one and it's a madhouse, I'm out. Like I'm not. It's not going to be. We glided into Unstoppable. It was well organized. These Wicked screenings are going to be like.
It's going to be like It's going to be like insane. The Red Wedding in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to wait until January and watch it on Apple TV Plus or whatever. Like I want to see it, but I'm not going to. I don't want to have to like put my own mental health in danger.
Yeah, sure. Or physical health.
I get annoyed so easily. My mental health is always in danger if mental health is a temper tantrum. I will say this about Ari on and yes, I did call her Ari on this tour. There is something so sweet when there's an established celebrity who gets a dream role. And you get, they were already famous and you thought to yourself, like, what else could please this person? And then watching them assume the role, she has wanted to play this role
since she was 10 years old. And
you can tell in every interview she gives in all the press, she is so excited. It is very, if I may invoke her, it is very Lea Michele finally getting to do Funny Girl. It's like that level of energy where it's like, I couldn't dislike this if I tried because you are an artist getting it's very, very Fantasia playing Miss Seeley. It's all that, like where you could, the way they speak about it and the reverence they give it. And Cynthia Erivo is a goddess and an icon, and I can't wait to see her in this. But I'm really more excited now to see Ariana Grande, knowing what this film means to her personally. It's been really gorgeous.
And they did a good job of having Kristen Chenoweth herself come and be at that one premiere and be like,
blessing.
Give the blessing. And is like, yes, you're going to like rip off half my shit and like do like your version of my version of it. And like, we're fine with that. Yeah. And that's not a slam, but just simply is like, it's very much inspired by Kristen Chenoweth's performance. Duh. Why wouldn't it be? Of course. So like, but that was really smart to be like Kristen, like, to have the blessing be bestowed. Speaking of blessings.
Where are we going?
I was blessed enough with Rebecca Bregman before being blessed by J-Lo's presence. Rebecca Bregman and I
can't believe I forgot about this.
We're blessed by none other than TJ and Amy of Good Morning America when we stood there We met up at the right time to wait there for 15 minutes for them to run by us at the New York Marathon. When I tell, if that isn't God herself putting them in our path, I don't know what is.
Mm-hmm.
And now, could I look up their names on that New York Marathon app like a real stalker? Yes, I could. Could I track them? Could I track them through the city as they ran? Yes, I sure could.
You can just track anyone running in the marathon.
If you know that they're running and you Google their name, it'll come right up and then you can track them.
That is insane to me.
Did they run by and did we just both start screaming at the top of our lungs, Loutellius, Loutellius? Yes. Did he look at us? No. And that's
he didn't even turn around. Like he doesn't bump off that someone screaming Loutellius.
And I'm like, he's gonna turn around because he knows who knows his name's Loutellius other than us? No one. So like, he's definitely gonna turn around for Loutellius. Didn't, not for 1 second.
Getting back to J-Lo and Diddy, slightly more famous than Loutellius. First of all, he turned 55 in jail this week. Diddy. The Post wants you to know that for breakfast on his birthday, he did not have Cristal and caviar. He had cereal and fruit. And
how dare
lunch,
they?
He had pasta with marinara sauce, meatballs, and a garden salad. And his dinner options were chicken or tofu fried rice with baked beans.
I don't like that we know this. I don't like that we...
Here's another story you're not going to want to know. An ex-Playboy model has said that Sean Combs made her watch Jennifer Lopez videos when she was at one of his famous freak-offs.
Dear God.
What? We're only in year one of the ridiculous stories
of a 7-year saga is what's going to, yeah.
While we are still in J-Lo and Diddy land, there's a sort of hilarious story that at a party, I can't believe this headline. Chris Brown breaks up fight between Diddy's sons and Ray J at a Halloween party.
Goodbye. Like, goodbye. Why?
All those people at this Halloween party, technically, are Halloween costumes. Like, how did Chris even know who the fuck was who? Also, Chris Brown breaking up a fight?
Yeah, the first time I've ever heard that.
What is 2024? What is happening right now?
I tried to watch that Chris Brown, like, A History of Violence is what it's called, right? That you said.
Oh, how was it?
I only got like 3 minutes into it, and then I was like, I can't watch this right now. I was like not in the place to consume it, but I will go back.
Fans are calling out Kim Kardashian's tribute to Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner turned 75, and Kim put a photo of the two of them on Instagram and said, the caption is, "Happy 75th birthday. I love you." And that was it. And people were commenting such shady shit as, that caption seems exhausted.
Well, they were like mad at Caitlyn for like a long time after her book came out.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that they still are. The shit that she said was pretty damning, particularly about Chris.
Yeah. They're like, Chris is an absolute monster in every way and like blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Well, obviously, in the second half of her life, Kim Kardashian is going to continue to defile every dead icon that came before her. She has been seen wearing Princess Diana's cross pendant with a really, really titty gown at the LACMA Art and Film Gala in Los Angeles. And people are calling her out for that this week, too.
Didn't we learn our lesson with fucking Marilyn's dress?
She did not.
She doesn't care. Well, she's an asshole. As we have branded her, she's an asshole. She loves doing this and getting us all mad about it.
The last thing I'll be angry at Kim Kardashian about is something I'm also going to be angry at Oprah Winfrey about. Oprah has named Kim Kardashian's Beats headphones one of her favorite things of 2024. And it's just like, why does someone who doesn't need the attention just keep getting more of it? Also, Kim, I respect that you can make whatever you want, but these are literally flesh-colored headphones.
Yeah, I know, but like, look at the picture in the article with her with them on. It's like, that is so what the brand is. Like, it's so ridiculous.
They match her racially ambiguous skin. That is what these headphones are.
She's wearing. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
How dare both of them? Also, Oprah, maybe an independent capitalist or manufacturer has some headphones that are probably better than Beats, and maybe that should be your favorite.
Not Beats,
thing.
like what you think of when you think of those over-the-ear headphones is the first thing you think of is Beats headphones. Beats and Bose.
I gotta say, that's why I get nervous. Again, we're trying not to do politics here, but that's why I get nervous when Oprah shows up at a Kamala rally, because I'm like, you're a billionaire who helps billionaires. I don't think you should be there. Like, I don't think Oprah should be endorsing anybody. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just cranky today. I have no idea. Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz. Did we really think they were going to be together forever? People are sad about this.
Did I even know that they were together? I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think I knew that they were together.
I knew they were together, but they never seemed like a Hollywood it couple to me. They were just like celebrities fucking. That's they all are.
I'm looking at this photo and he's riding like a BMX bike like down the street and he's in like he looks like very much like a skinhead and she has like little black glass, like she's just her perfect like weird self where she has like a little like tank top on and little glasses. And I'm like, oh, I see it. It's this like 90s like grunge like thing, but that's not a love for the ages. That's like, isn't this cool that we're both doing this for publicity and like look hot as shit and like everyone's picturing us fucking and it's great. Like it's giving like star-crossed lovers, not like a romance for the ages.
All right. So who is Steve Kazee? Is this Zoe Kravitz's
I have no idea.
ex? But he basically did the equivalent of when he found out that they broke up, he just went on Instagram and went, ha, ha, ha.
It's Jenna Dewan's fiance, who is the ex of Channing Tatum.
So Channing Tatum's ex's current fiance publicly laughed at Channing Tatum.
Oh, he put it on his story.
Yeah.
Which, like, cool, but like, who's Jenna Dewan? Goodbye.
Right. Also, who's Steve Kazee? Also, guess what? You can laugh your ass off, but Channing Tatum is still Channing Tatum, and your fiance probably still wants to fuck him. No offense, Steve.
Also, your last name is literally Kazee. Like, so goodbye.
Your opinion doesn't matter if your last name is Kazee. Everyone knows that. Thomas Louise Cruz. We haven't spoken about him since the Olympics. This bitch loves a sequel. He is already working on a sequel to Top Gun Maverick. And get this, he is also exploring doing a sequel to a 1990 movie he did called Days of Thunder. It's a NASCAR movie.
Yeah, he's like a race car driver.
Yeah. If memory serves, Nicole Kidman is in this movie. So I doubt highly that Nicole Kidman is going to be a part of any Tom Cruise project. But could you imagine the tectonic plates quaking over the possibility of them reuniting on screen?
Or when she's like, they've fallen out of touch and then he gets back into race car driving and then a hooded figure joins the race and it's Nicole Kidman racing against him.
That would be fantastic.
Like a hotshot new driver that no one knows who it is and she's they're bumping people off the road. They're bumping people off the road and she gets all the way to the front and then she rides up right next to him and she's like, hi, Tom, or whatever his name is. And that, you know what I mean? Like, and then she flies by him.
What if Nicole Kidman
Can you imagine?
Murders Tom Cruise's character in Days of Thunder 2? Also, is there a human being clamoring for a sequel to Days of Thunder?
No. But once Maverick was so successul, they were like, we will do whatever you want.
Okay, so what's next? Jerry Maguire 2? You're still completing me? Like, I don't know.
Actually, yes. And also, where's Shelley? That's all.
Yeah, I mean, this is why Nicole's never going to work with Tom again. Obviously. You know who's a gift that keeps on giving? Patricia Lupone, known to you as Tony Winter Patty.
I can't with her in this.
Okay, so here's the deal. Patty Lupone is in a Broadway play called The Roommate. The Roommate is next door to the Tony-winning musical Hell's Kitchen. Apparently, there's a little bit of sound bleed between the theaters. These are very old theaters. They weren't set up to have sound systems put in them when they were built 2,000 years ago. So I guess
I'm sure The Roommate is like silent half the time. Do you know what I mean? It's like this like very serious like...
Yeah, I believe the plot of The Roommate is Patty Lupone and Mia Farrow look at each other and just wonder who's going to faint first from the overexertion of having to speak in front of an audience. So Patty sends a letter to the producers of Hell's Kitchen and is like, can you lower it? It's a little bit loud. And so they comply and she sends them flowers, thanking them. Well, woman who won Best Featured Actress in a Musical, the wonderful Keisha Lewis, released a 6-minute Instagram video. I mean, it was basically telling Patti LuPone to go fuck herself, but it was in the most like organized and backhanded way, and came out and said what she did was a racial microaggression against the largely minority cast and backed musical Hell's Kitchen. Whew! I will tell you that the comment section of something like this, when you watch theater queens get super angry about something that someone who doesn't care about theater would look at and say, what is going on here?
Like, what is the point of this?
The brutality in the comments is like people wishing people on either side dead, all this racism. It's like, Maron, can you just have accepted the flowers? I guess not. And I shouldn't be flipped because people will come after me. There are people who are like, this is privilege in action, where she says lower it and we lower it.
Yeah.
And it's racist.
And also tell the producer to tell the other producer, hey, like, we're getting sound bleed from your, like, Patti LuPone doesn't have to go on her soapbox and be like, can you believe these loud people over here are playing their music so loud? And it's like, yeah, I'm at a Broadway show. They better be fucking playing it loud, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Do you know
I
what I
gotta
mean?
tell you what, Patty's going for it.
Yeah. You don't need to be involved in this. The producer can call the other producer and say, hey, we're hearing so much of your music. Like, can we both put sound shit on the other thing? And they'd be like, absolutely. And then we could have called it a day. Not her writing them an open letter where she's like yelling at them.
Now, Patti LuPone has always spoken her mind, but there's in the past 2 or 3 years, she's definitely made this sort of thing even more of her brand than she did before. Like when she's chatting with Aubrey Plaza, talking about Madonna being dead behind the eyes and the worst actress in history. Yeah,
we gave her a standing ovation for that, by the way.
We did. Yeah. But then there's this. And then she was on The View recently. You're going to love this, where they brought up that she was Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard in the original run in London, and then was famously removed by Andrew Lloyd Webber and didn't transfer to Broadway. So she is going to see it this week. I believe she's either seeing it tonight, Wednesday, or next Wednesday. She's like, I'm curious to see what they've done, because let's be honest, it's always been a lumbering musical. So I can't wait to see what they've done.
Such a bitch.
And the only thing I have to say is, if it's being reimagined by Jamie Lloyd, why can't Jamie Lloyd do a reimagining with a new playwright? Why does it have to be on an existing work? And she's saying all this shit. And I'm like, Patti, now you got to go see this thing and you've already fucking trashed it. Like, I will love her until I'm in a box. There's no doubt about it. I feel like she's taking cranky old theater queen too far now. Like, I think she's going to the 11th level with
when
it.
She was like, I hate Madonna, she's a fucking loser. Like, we were all like dying, and it was like the way she did it was so good. When there was that one clip where they were like, what if Trump comes and sees your musical? She's like, I won't perform because I hate him. Like,
I hate the
then we're like
motherfucker.
all cheering, you know what I mean? We're like, yeah, oh, haha, so funny. But then you can't turn that on to like someone who's not famous. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the other thing, is she's like punching down in every way here. If it was Sunset Boulevard with Nicole Scherzinger and she was like, tell that stupid bitch to fucking shut the fuck up, we'd be dying laughing. Like, we would be dying. We would be on the floor and like applauding her. She's just telling this musical that's like an Alicia Keys, like based off her life. It's like probably so earnest, and like and she's like, they're disturbing me and Mia's like scene work together.
I have to say something that I'm afraid Patti LuPone will find out about and come after me. But when I have seen clips of her performing numbers from Sunset Boulevard, like the iconic numbers, I thought that she was miscast in the role. Like, I feel like I understand why Andrew Lloyd Webber took her out of the part. I feel like it just wasn't working. She's almost too big for it. It's not even a slam. It's just like sometimes actor and role don't mesh. And I know that her feelings are still hurt about it, but you know, you're going to see it. It's a triumph. Nicole Scherzinger's getting raves, but a week before, you got to let everyone know that it's lumbering. Let's see what the bitch has got. It's like, don't do that to another actor. That kind of sucks. Nicole hasn't done anything to you.
And like, you're still mad about this. And this is like 30 years later.
It's literally 30 years.
Yeah, I don't like it. And again, she's hot off the presses of Agatha all along, and everyone loving the show.
That's the thing. She loves she's riding high on that.
She's riding high, and then she does this.
I don't know. I shouldn't be telling Patti LuPone what to do. I'm afraid I'll end up with a fish in a newspaper outside my door. I love you. You are one of the all-time greats, but I don't want Nicole Scherzinger to suffer for this because this is someone who's having an actual well-deserved career-defining moment. Don't call the work she's appearing in Lumbering before you go see it. Come on.
Yeah.
Apologize to everybody and just move on with it. I don't know. Does Patti LuPone apologize?
No, God, no. She never will.
Well, two of our favorites who we thought we would never see again
Here we go.
are returning to acting. Armie Hammer, ladies and gentlemen. Someone has hired broke billionaire Armie Hammer to appear in something called Frontier Crucible. It is a Western.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go again. Who's going to get shot this time?
Well, are you Alec Baldwinning him?
No,
He's appearing in that. And look, at least there's not a cannibal plot line in Frontier
thank God.
Western.
Thank
The
God.
laughable part is that Aunt Becky, Ms. Lori Loughlin, who was, we assumed, career murdered because of her reluctance to admit her guilt in the Varsity Blues college admissions scandal, is now playing, wait for it, a police officer in a new Dick Wolf crime drama for Prime Video. How dare you, Lori Loughlin? How dare you? What in the name of Felicity Huffman are you doing right now?
I know. How dare she? How dare she? Let's tank it. Wait, how does that have anything to do with Armie Hammer?
Because they were both in the toilet and now they're both returning to acting. They're not together.
I understand. I thought they were going to be together in this, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Oh, I forgot. There's a third project they're appearing in where Lori Loughlin plays a college admissions director, and Armie Hammer eats her. I left that part out. Just kidding.
Well, what's Armie going to do? This is going to be hard for Armie because he's now going to have gas money, and we're going to know that he has gas money.
That he's not poor anymore.
And so that.
Also pretty sure his mom gave him gas money out of the family trust.
Dominic, you know that right here, I have his mother's memoir.
Look at that. You're holding it up as we speak. Is it called Hammer Time?
It's called Hammered because she's been hammered by life, she says.
Jesus Christ. And are you kidding?
I just recorded with Chelsea Devontes for 2 hours about this book. And okay, so everyone run, do not walk. He has a podcast. I'm upset that I'm going to get him downloads, but yet I need everyone to hear him.
Armie.
He has his mom on the podcast in the second episode. And when I tell you that he in every way decimates this woman to her face in a public forum, the likes of which we have never seen. She's this like Jesus freak. And he's like, I needed a parent to be there, not a pastor. And like at every turn of his life, whenever like something went wrong, she would just like turn to God instead of like being a parent. And he like brings it up and just like no pun intended, crucifies this woman for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting twist.
It's a ride. But yeah, this is hard. It's hard to see him with this role because again, now like you can afford a Prius now. You can afford gas. You can afford
so just
an apartment. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? This is just not going to bode well for like his cause, his Lana Del Rey turn that he's doing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the death of Peanut, the TikTok squirrel? Have you heard about this?
Like in theory, yes, but I don't understand what can you tell me about it?
So there's a TikTok. So the long and the short of it is that this man, I believe in upstate New York, has a squirrel, a housebound squirrel that he found dying and he took care of it. So he takes care of this squirrel and now a new creature he's been taking care of is a raccoon. Apparently he's got millions and millions of views on TikTok.
This is like the Appalachia version of like Chimp Crazy / Tiger
Sort
King.
of, yeah. And so
he's also
someone calls and complains.
Can we talk about that?
He's fucking adorable.
Yeah.
Someone calls and complains. The state of New York raids his home. They stay there for 5 hours, trashing the place. They take the two beings into custody, the two animals, and they're basically euthanized by the state because you can't have animals like that in your home. And people are losing their minds. And I just start drinking and drinking because I'm like, there are people throwing themselves on train tracks because a squirrel who gets 8 million views a day has been euthanized. I'm putting comedy on the internet every day and getting like 300 peaks on TikTok. Fuck you, Peanut. That's what I have to say about this scandal.
They're coming for us.
I'm done with it.
I don't like that they raided his home as if it was like, again, this isn't chimp crazy. Like, that's where they need to be raided.
Right.
Like, this is just a squirrel. This squirrel could get picked up by a hawk tomorrow and we're all done with each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a dog that goes in the yard could like eat this chipmunk alive.
In all seriousness, it doesn't seem like they were doing anything wrong, really.
No.
Like, I mean, this animal's been living in his house for a very long time. Someone just probably got jealous of the attention and dropped a dime
and they were
on
like,
him.
"Watch this."
I'm not saying that it wasn't me given my previous tantrum. So who knows?
Like my squirrel almond didn't make it 8 million views, so I'm gonna like.
Peanut also very strangely spelled P'.
Yeah,
nut.
I don't love that. I don't love that either.
I don't love that either. I think that the squirrel took his own life because of the spelling of his name. That's
Dominick.
what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. Did you see on SNL this weekend, Pete Davidson resurfaces with tat-free arms?
I am happy that he is seemingly on the mend.
Yeah, he looked great. He looked like plumper and healthier and like someone who'd gone through a really good program. And I truly like Pete Davidson. His stand-up specials are actually... I think I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but I think they're much funnier than you would think they would be. Like he's actually a good comedian. He's a good writer. He's got good writing partners. He's very funny. And we wish the best for him because, as we know, dating a Kardashian or Ariana Grande, for one person to do one of those things, it is a hard thing to survive. Having done both,
for real.
This is someone who religion should be named after him, actually.
Yeah,
the fact that he's still here after going through the 1-2 punch of Kim and Ariana, that's a lot for one person to take. So welcome back, Pete.
I wonder what the tattoo removal is. That's interesting to me.
I don't know. You mean like which tattoos he had removed?
I'm just saying, like, I wonder why he wants to get rid of his tattoos. You know what I mean?
Well, he said it was because when he does movies, he's got to sit in the makeup chair for hours and hours.
Oh, yeah, to get them all covered up.
I believe it.
No,
I kind of believe that's
I do too.
a part of it.
Yeah, it would be hard.
Okay. I want to talk about Shirley MacLaine for a second. So she's got a new book out or whatever. She's 91 years old. Shirley MacLaine. This entire hour is just me tearing down legendary showbiz women. I'm not trying to do that because I love all of these women.
But when they did, Patty deserved me throttling her. Like,
Shirley
you know what I mean?
MacLaine is doing this new book or this new project. And in the book, she says that on the night that Marilyn Monroe, an icon in life and also on this podcast, please listen to our Subway Dust Patreon episode.
Okay, it's not called Subway Dust. It's called Fixing Dead People, Marilyn Monroe.
Dead People, Subway Dust.
Well, guess what? Everyone? Next Monday, you're going to get it in the free feed is all I'm going to tell you.
With an announcement, right? Or have we already announced that? Yeah, with an announcement.
So be ready. You're all going to know what Subway Dust is very, very soon. But continue.
So Shirley MacLaine says that she was there on the night that Marilyn Monroe sang Happy Birthday, Mr. President to JFK. And that JFK and Marilyn very clearly went into a room for 7 minutes of heaven. And JFK came out. And RFK Sr. then went in and spent 7 minutes in heaven with her and exited. And to Shirley MacLaine, I'm like, you know what? For someone who believes in spirituality and past lives, please let Marilyn Monroe be
Let her rest.
I want the last public moments that we hear about Marilyn Monroe to be the Patreon episode we did when we channeled her actual ghost.
Yes.
Let her die already now.
Let her live. Let her rest. Let her rest.
After that fucking Ana de Armas movie,
I know.
Why must she be so hoard all the time, you know? And
all
also,
the time.
When it comes to that whole group of people, they could live to be 200 years old and have 9 sets of genitalia. They could not have fucked all the people that they're accused of fucking all the time. It's just not physically possible. Now she's being double teamed by the brothers at JFK's birthday party. I love you, Shirley MacLaine, but we didn't need to know that.
And even if this is 100% true, like, I don't stop telling us this.
Yeah, I didn't want to know it. I don't want to think about it.
And it'd be one thing if she was like, Marilyn was like hungry for dick. Like, she loved it, but like, you know that's not what it was. Like, you know that's not what it was.
So the Jamie Foxx documentary is coming to Netflix in December, where he's going to discuss the mystery illness that knocked him out of the spotlight for a while and presumably discuss whether or not that mystery illness, I can't believe I'm going to say a sentence that I can't believe is real life. It sounds like something we're making up, but whether or not Diddy poisoned Jamie Foxx, and that was what the mystery illness was. This is an actual thing. This is some sort of like celebrity espionage, where
Again,
Sean
we're in-
Diddy Combs might, to silence Oscar winner superstar Jamie Foxx, might have poisoned him and tried to kill him to keep him from talking about these freak-off parties. Where
We're
are
in year
we
one.
right now?
We're in year
We're
one.
in year one.
We're in year one. You
one.
did this. That Dominic, you coined a new term. We're in year one.
We're in year one of this.
God, it's just going to be so bad.
James Vanderbeek going public this week with having colorectal cancer, which he says signs look good, but he wanted to release a public statement. He definitely was, it wasn't like on the joyous side, like I'm on the other half of this. It was very much to me like I'm in the beginning of it and it's pretty fucking scary. So I need to talk about it before someone else does. So we love James Vanderbeek. I wasn't really a Dawson's Creek person, but I was definitely the B in Apartment 23
don't trust
fan.
the B in Apartment 23. We brought that up so many times now.
Yeah. I mean, it was so short-lived, but I thought so funny. So sending him all of the best, obviously. Did you watch the Gilmore Girls when it was like...
I didn't really.
I didn't either. It's apparently still very popular, and I'm not sure where it streams. I think it's on Netflix, but however the show is shot, and those of you who are huge fans will understand this better than Chris and I do, but the viewership for Gilmore Girls always spikes and gets new viewers in the fall. I guess apparently most of the show has like some sort of fall palette or autumnal.
That's very interesting.
New England-y, whatever, but yeah. And so we're in the
Rebecca's
fall.
screaming at her phone right now, by the way.
I'm sure she is.
No, that's very interesting.
That was interesting.
That is very interesting. I like those like data. I wish they would just do like a podcast about like all the data of TV shows. I think that would be like, I know I'm like the only person that would listen to it, but we could do one. But we don't have the data.
Did you see Chris Martin in concert falling into a trapdoor? Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Did you see video of this? Chris Martin and Coldplay were on stage. He falls through a flap door. This is like the 5th time this year that someone has fallen through a trap door. Didn't it happen to like 1 million people so far? Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh yeah, Olivia Rodrigo like took a nosedive.
Who are the stagehands? Yes. Yeah. Who are the state? How does this keep happening? This seems like a solvable problem to me.
I want to see the video of it. Is there a video on this? Oh, he falls right in. Oh my God, look at that.
He goes straight the fuck down.
I know. Dear God in heaven. What's happening?
I don't know. It seems like a solvable problem. Like, protect the celebrities. Let us beat up on them. Physically, you got to protect them.
Yeah.
Did you see Jason Kelsey smash that person's phone who said, how does it feel to know that your brother is the F-slur for dating Taylor Swift? And he grabbed the guy's phone and smashed it into the ground.
Loved it. Would have done it myself.
I loved it as well. And I thought it was a good move on his part. He's been very sorrowful about it, saying violence is not the answer, blah, blah, blah. Just when people make comments about that, it's always very weird because Taylor Swift is a woman. And if Travis Kelce is having sex with a woman, he wouldn't be the word that you called him. I don't know. People misuse that word
what's so funny about it is like they just want to get a rise out of him, and they did.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked. $1 billion lawsuit incoming because of it. I'm sure he'll be like, I lost my contacts or something. He's definitely gonna come after him.
And like, not for nothing, did we scream at J-Lo like, where's Diddy? Like, you're a criminal? Like, no, we didn't. We sat there and we
whispered it under our breath.
Yeah, well, sure, but that's what I'm saying. This man did not do that. Like, just because you're in the presence of an A-list celebrity doesn't mean you get to like say any mean thing that you ever take. Listen, take it from Chapel Row. And that guy was like, "Shut the fuck up," because she was like talking while they were trying to take pictures of her, and she was like, "Absolutely not. You shut the fuck. Like, how dare you speak to me this way?" And like embarrass him in front of everyone. Listen, they're fighting back. We're coming for them, and they're fighting back. Is all I'm saying.
We'll close today on the Duchess of Schmuckers and her henpecked husband known as H, or the former Prince Harry. We'll have more information on this next week. It does seem as though they have bought a European home in Portugal, inching ever so slowly back to the United Kingdom.
Interesting.
And in other Schmuckers news, we are told, for those of you who are curious as to how they are to be addressed, the person who ran their visit to Canada in February has revealed the bombshell that when asked what he should call Harry and Meghan, he was informed that a simple ma'am is fine, to address Prince Harry as Sir.
Sir and ma'am.
Thank you to the New York Post. I've been on the edge of my seat for nearly 4 years.
Yeah, we're really getting down to the bottom of things, aren't they?
Yeah. P.S. They're still the Duke and Duchess of Schmuckers. And that's
we did not have this question.
In writing.
We didn't have this question at all. We weren't. Yeah, we were clear.
Ma'am and sir, that's what Chris and I answer to. Both of them, actually.
Yeah.
Each of us will answer to both in case you ever see us in public.
One last thing. So sad. Quincy Jones.
That's right.
Really?
Also 91 years old.
Very old. So sure.
True icon. True.
Trailblazer.
I remember in the 80s when I was in middle and high school, I truly thought Quincy Jones worked on every song that was released. Literally every song.
Isn't Quincy Jones the reason that we have We Are the World? Wasn't it his?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Quincy and Lionel, they did We Are the World. Remember that great Netflix documentary? Oh, it was so good about We Are the World. Good. That's an FFP recommendation, by the way. If you haven't watched that documentary, it was
The Greatest Night in Pop, I think it's called.
Yep. So RIP to him. And who are we fixing this week? Jessica Simpson.
We're fixing Jessica Marie Simpson. It's not Marie. I don't know.
Now, Chris, do you have a note for the listeners about there's not going to be an a la carte this week because we have something extra special instead, correct?
Well, they've already gotten Fixing Normal People holiday advice. If you're in the $5 tier, you've gotten a whirlwind of an episode.
Which is in place of the a la carte this week because that episode is the emotional equivalent of 12 a la cartes, is what we will say.
Times 10. Yeah.
If you are a person who is too sensitive to have off-the-cuff conversations about family and religion, do not listen to this.
Yeah, don't.
If you are a normal person like we are, you will laugh your ass off. There are some really funny moments from our guests. Fixing Normal People, the holiday edition. And a reminder, please head over to my website, dominteri.com, or to my Insta page at Dominick Pupa, where you will be linked to the 10 city stops of my holiday tour, Dom We Now Are Gay Apparel, beginning December 1st in San Francisco and ending December 22nd in Hotlanta. Hope to see you all there. Christopher, are we ready to fix Jessica Simpson after some incredibly vital messages?
I think I'm in love. Yes.
Let's go.
This episode is brought to you by Huggies Little Movers. Huggies knows that babies come in all shapes and sizes, and their tushies do too. Huggies has more curves and outstanding active fit. Parents know that there's nothing worse than an ill-fitting diaper, especially for active, wiggly babies. Huggies Little Movers are curved to fit all curves, so babies feel comfy no matter how much they're moving around. And we all know they're moving around a lot. They also offer 12-hour protection against leaks, which is a game changer. Get your baby's butt into the best-fitting diaper. Huggies Little Movers. We got you, baby.
Are you looking for stories of business innovation and resilience? Right now, you can tune into the Wondery podcast, How I Built This, to catch bonus episodes sponsored by Klaviyo. These episodes explore the journeys of up-and-coming entrepreneurial phenoms like Fishwife, diving deep into some of the practical challenges businesses face. With the insight of some special guests, you won't want to miss this. So, are you ready to get inspired? Check out How I Built This, sponsored by Klaviyo, wherever you get your podcasts. And make every moment count with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/BFCM.
Dominick, we have a friend of the pod back. We call her Paulie because that's her name. It's Paula Sanders of World's Your Oysta podcast. Welcome back to the show.
Oh my God, what an honor. I'm surprised nobody else was available for this. But Lord, I am so excited to be back.
Well, I wanted to have you because you're about to launch season 3 of World's Your Oysta, and you got, there's a facelift happening. We are...
Honey, okay, I didn't get a facelift. Let's not get it twisted.
The show is getting a facelift.
Let's not spread any rumors. I'm only 37. The facelift will be coming in about 10 years. But yes, the whole thing has gotten a facelift. We're in a new era at World's Your Oysta, and I'm so excited. So 11/11 is the new start date, and follow along. We've got new social media. We've got new everything. So please give us a follow because we started from zero. Again, I don't know why I did this. I'm a masochist.
Yeah. And if you want to, yeah, that's how we feel every single day. Yeah. And if you want to start with people you know, we have an episode on World's Your Oysta. So go over there now and listen. And you can listen to us be depraved and unhinged.
Yeah. You should link that episode in the show notes because honestly, it's like one of my favorites still to this day. It's so good. I am obsessed with you guys. I'm such a fangirl. And
we love you.
Yeah.
I texted you the other day and was like, hi, like, we just haven't seen each other in a while and I'm upset with you and myself. Like, I was like, that's not okay.
I'd like to say we're busy, but we're not.
We're not. That's the problem. Which makes me actually mad about it. You know what I mean?
I know. Anywho, let's get going.
Jessica
Simpson. Icon? Can we call her that? Because to me,
I
she
would
is
say
what?
yes.
To me,
She's an
she is
icon.
I would say so. 100%.
If Dominick and I need to get really textbook with it, like she was part and the best part of a reality show that shaped television, period.
Is she what inspired you guys to go into your careers? Was it Jessica Simpson?
Honestly, partly me, yes.
Me, definitely no. I was not inspired by Jessica Simpson to be a television producer. I already was one when her show came on. We're speaking, of course, of Newlyweds, which we'll get up to in a moment.
The cradle of life.
But first, let us find out the middle name of the person who I would say was solidly in third position in the Britney Christina era. Solidly in third.
Correct.
I would put Jessica Simpson there. Followed, as we were speaking prior to airtime, we were speaking in fourth position of Mandy Moore, but a distant fourth. We still love Mandy Moore.
Very distant.
But pretty distant.
Yeah.
I'm a Mandy Moore stan, but
look, I think I wouldn't say stan. We're definitely fans, but she's still a distant four, and I'm happy. I'm happy that she came back with This Is Us. I know she grimaces when people ask her to sing Candy, but without Candy, who are you? Okay, so
also loved her work on Tangled, by the way. She was the voice of Rapunzel.
Oh, I never saw it.
Oh, it was so good. You should go back. The soundtrack, incredible. Anyway, continue.
Jessica Johnson, born Jessica Simpson. On July 10th, 1980. Yeah, she's listed here as Jessica Johnson, née Simpson. The American singer and actress. She was born where? In Abilene, Texas. She is a Cancer. She was born on July 10th, 1980. What is Jessica Simpson's middle name?
Okay, Abilene, Texas is a very important part of this.
I just feel like of the era, like of the 1980s, Jessica Ann was like the name. You can't, or Jessica Lynn. It's Jessica Ann or Jessica Lynn. Like there's no other option in my opinion.
Beautiful guesses. I was about to guess Lynn, but
those were the only middle names at that time.
I'm going to say Marie. Something's pulling me to Marie.
Final answers from both of you. We can't just throw a net out here with all one syllable names.
I'm like, it could be Marissa, Teresa, Ann. I'm going with Ann, Jessica Ann.
I'm going to say Lynn then. I'll say Lynn.
We rarely say this on the show, but we have a winner. It is Jessica Ann Simpson.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, Paula!
I told you there's absolutely no other option because at this time, the only middle names were Anne, Marie, and Rose. That's it.
Yeah, true.
I was so happy you said Anne because if you said Lynn and it turned out to be Anne, that's the sort of thing that makes Chris riot. And
yeah.
You can't. It's got to be the
correct.
final
Sure.
answer.
Yes.
It's very rare I win anything, so I'm going to take this one all the way to the bank. I'm going to take this one all the way to the bank.
The prize
what do I get? What do I get?
This.
A facelift? Do I get a facelift?
Bragging rights.
Okay.
Bragging rights.
Best
Amazing.
guess.
Yeah.
Paula.
Yeah.
That was it.
No, that was good. That was good. I mean, never forget the last time you were here, the middle name was Loutellius, which we are still riding high on today.
Loutellius. What a day. What a day.
What a day that was.
At least I prepared for that one. Today, I'm completely unprepared. I know nothing. I didn't even know that Jessica Simpson needed to be fixed, if I'm being honest with you guys. I'm upset to hear it.
She's sort of on that. It's not that she's like near cancellation, but she's just sort of in a moment where she needs assistance. I'd put her on Fixing Famous People in sort of like maybe not the Amanda Bynes, but like someone we love that we just want to do better. So yes, almost in like the Amanda Bynes category.
Yes, or like a Jane Krakowski.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like an E-Trade when you have your watch list, like your stock watch list. She's on the watch list. Okay.
This is her. So obviously Jessica was introduced to all of us in the late 90s when she was part of the Brit Christina era. What else could we call it? Maybe just the late 90s. My memory of her is that she had to take a back seat to the two of them because she was just another blonde, white teenage girl coming out at the same time. In my opinion, at the time, I have since revised my opinion on this. She had the best set of pipes, I thought, of the three of them. Like when she came out with her signature singles, all of which were so slow. And I was introduced to them at gay dance clubs with the remixes of them. And then when I would watch the original videos on TRL, I'd be like, someone needs to pick this up.
Yeah,
but
you'd be like, why?
Yeah. But in those slower versions, she was belting. Like she is a belter. And we'll talk about her belting slip-ups later.
That's half the...
That I remember.
If we want to be mean about it, the reason she's on the list is because all of these TikTok videos where she's like doing these ballads and she's basically screaming. Yeah.
Also the fact that you just said Tic Tac and not TikTok.
I'm sorry. That's what it fried my brain. I would agree with you only because if you look at the song Genie in a Bottle, it is so obvious that they were like, sing this like Britney Spears would. And not yourself, which is like, in my opinion, the vocalist of our generation, like is Christina Aguilera. Like,
yes, that's why, by the way, when I said I'd revised my opinion, I meant because after Christina like sang a couple of actual songs other than Genie in the Bottle, it was like
Fighter or like any of her other good songs.
Voice of the century.
Yeah, right. Beautiful. Yeah.
Well, she was marketed to us like as the songstress of the girly pops at that time.
Sure.
Right.
So it really wasn't her fault. I think it was just marketing. So whoever she was with, RCA, whatever, they thought that she was the lyrical songstress of that time. And then we came to find out that she indeed was not.
This is the thing. I feel like Jessica Simpson got so overshadowed because not only did Baby One More Time like debut at #1 because it was so marketed so well, that like their family was carbon copy of the Spears family. Southern father who's overbearing, mother who's just going to do whatever the dad wants, younger sister that wishes to be the older sister that's a pop star, blonde, Southern. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was her. I mean, that was it.
The sister, by the way, her music, way better than Jessica's.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And she ends up marrying Diana Ross's son.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And we should fix Ashley Simpson.
Yeah.
We should put her
in
on.
the same vein as Jessica. It's like, it's not like they're untalented or said something bad. I mean, Ashley had one ill-fated moment on SNL, which defined her life, which is a shame because like Paula just said, she too had some really good music. She really did.
You make me wanna la la.
That's what I was gonna sing too.
In the
like
kitchen
on the floor will be a French maid. Oh, great songs.
Great song.
I will fight to the death that it wasn't even the lip syncing mishap that ruined her. It was the awkward dance off stage.
Oh, 100%.
If we didn't see the awkward
jig
dance
that she did,
no one would have given a shit. Because if we're gonna crucify everyone who
lip syncs
has lip synced like repeatedly, I mean, I have a vision of love about that. So let's
Sure.
But yeah, carbon copy for sure. Carbon copy of the Spears family. Very hard to tell even the difference, especially during that time.
And Dominick, even when we were like, as we're like sitting here waiting to start, Dominick and I start singing like her first album before Irresistible. Like I always think of like Irresistible as like her song that was like her breakout song, but that's not true.
Let's not forget about Sweet Kisses, baby.
That album before
99. That's the name of the album, Sweet Kisses.
No,
and
it's
that's
not.
the same year as Baby One More Time. Like Baby One More Time is out in 1999 in December, I believe. And that is like same year. And when I tell you like, I think I'm in love, boy. I think that I'm
in love with you. So
banger,
good.
Banger. Today, a banger.
Yeah, but her best song is Love You Forever. That's the best song.
I Want to Love You Forever and I Think I'm in Love with You are both on my current October gym mix. I listen to those songs every day and have all year. I don't know why they just re-entered my head and now I can't get enough of them.
Same today. As of today, those are my two new jams.
Yeah.
Do it.
We were in the car. I was in the car where we were driving, but it was just like on shuffle on Spotify. And I Think That I'm in Love with You came on. And when I tell you, Son and I sang every single word. Like we were like bopping along, having the best time of our lives.
But do you also get like transported right back to your mom's car when you hear those songs? Like I'm right in my mom's car. I'm in the passenger side. Mike got the window down. We're in the Volvo. It's 1998 and everything is fine.
a song that transports me to my mom's car is anything from Writings on the Wall by Destiny's Child.
Yes.
Or Always Be My Baby, Mariah Carey.
Oh, and for me, the Celine Dion album where she's in the all white.
Yes.
For me and my mom's car, it's either Vogue or the Charleston. It's a toss-up between those two.
But Jessica, this is the thing, is like, she is the third of the three. She is the holy spirit of the trio of the pop divas of the early 2000s, of like the millennial generation. And then she marries Nick Lachey.
Nick Lachey.
Who's also the third of his generation, right? Backstreet Boys,
oh my God, you're so
98
right.
Degrees.
That's true. You know, I'd never realized that before.
But why they got plucked as like the king and queen of the first reality TV show doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And they were like getting married on the show. She was a virgin.
Which, beyond strange that at that time we were objectifying every young female's virginity. It was the top.
Yes.
It was all over the tabloids. Why we all knew that Jessica Simpson was apparently, quote unquote, a virgin. It just blows my mind.
I mean, that was, again, when Brittany and what the fuck is her name? That bitch-ass bitch. What's her name?
What
you know how many people fall under that category?
Yeah, I'm like, what bitch ass bitch? Which one are you talking about?
What is her name? My nemesis. What is her? Diane Sawyer. When Diane Sawyer, I think I'm like, I can't get anyone's name right anymore.
I thought Howie Mandel was you have a lot of nemesis, don't you? Howie Mandel and Diane Sawyer?
Oh, I have a list. Who am I, Wendy? Diane Sawyer, who can rot. Whenever she made Brittany cry in that interview, she was like, "Are you a virgin?" And Brittany was like, and like didn't know what to say and like started crying.
Yeah.
Bitch. Anyway.
You know what I love about today's pop stars, though? They are making it absolutely no question. They're like, we are not a virgin. We hardly ever were.
Fuck.
We fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. We fuck women. Like, deal with that. Like, how about that? Yeah.
We're fucking whoever we want. And now we don't give a fuck about it, which I love. Love.
So, 100%.
Nick and Jessica, which I know that, look, I understand that this is your favorite show of that era. And I will say that it was one of the shows that started the blobbity blah that we've worked on since then. But it was sort of like the Osbournes and this show sort of hand in hand were sort of like,
correct,
origin stories for the genre a little bit. I mean, in addition to Real World and anything else you want to tell, but like these shows were very, very much part of the blueprint.
But this was something that like went like viral, wasn't what we called anything yet, but like Chicken of the Sea, like when, like, again, like this is, in my opinion, like maybe number one of like early 2000s pop culture moment. Like number one. Yeah. Like only to maybe be eclipsed when Pumpkin spit on New York. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like that is the only thing.
Up shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also around the same time as the Nip Slip, right? With Justin Timberlake and it was like all in that same.
Yeah, that's up there. But is this chicken do I have, or is this fish? I'm not even going to insult anyone by trying to explain what it is, because we all watched it.
We all watched it.
Anyone listening to this podcast watched it, minus maybe two people that I have in mind.
For those two people, let's just say she had a can of Chicken of the Sea and she didn't know if it was chicken or tuna.
She said, I know that it's tuna, but it says chicken by the sea. And he's like, it's fish. It's tuna fish.
Yeah, but then they got a huge contract. Then they did all of the commercials. Remember, like they laughed that one all the way to the bank.
All the way to the bank. Something I wish I was being sponsored by a tuna brand on this show.
You do love a tuna melt, which makes me want to throw up in my mouth.
It's in the works. It actually is in the works, but it really was a watershed moment for reality TV. Like that, it was like turning into commercials. She ended up doing like a buffalo wing commercial that was like, where are the wings on the buffalo? Or like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like from that show, she kind of like broke away from being the Holy Spirit of that Trinity and like becoming her own person. Right. Do you agree with this?
100%. I think that show sort of removed her from the music world altogether, because then at that time, her sister started moving in and doing music. Right. And then she, after 3 seasons of Newlyweds, then became Daisy Duke in Dukes of Hazzard.
That was like a big movie at the time.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it should have been bigger because it wasn't like that great of a movie, but her landing that role was a very big deal. Huge. For her, yeah.
And
that's an iconic television character.
And it was like Sean William Scott. Who was it? Sean William Scott and...
I can't remember who the other one is.
No. It was... Wait,
yes, it was
Johnny Knoxville, right?
It was Johnny Knoxville and Sean William Scott and Jessica Simpson. They were all above the title, I might add.
Nobody cared about anything about that movie aside from her in those shorts.
Yeah.
Those shorts,
that was
the
it.
boots, that music video where she's
Yeah, the
on the
boots
car,
are made for walking.
washing the car. Oh, never forget. I will never, ever forget that moment. But then she disappeared.
She was a superstar. Like that was her being, she was a superstar. She really was. And then do you forget that before Newlywed, before they got divorced, she had the Nick and Jessica variety show.
What?
Was
Yes.
this on MTV as well?
This was on, I think, MTV. And this is where she sings that duet with Jewel that I sing every single day of my life.
Please just tell us about the duet with Jewel.
Please tell me. I can't imagine.
Jewel is singing Who Will Save Your Soul, like one of her most famous songs. And it's Jewel and Jessica Simpson. And of course, Jewel's like being Jewel and being like, like doing her normal weird shit, which I'm obsessed with.
Her yodeling.
Yeah, her yodeling. And then Jessica is trying to sing, but instead of like making it her own, she tries to do an impression of Jewel. Like she tries to match Jewel. And so she does this song and she goes, I wanna bounce, and you bust down on the wall in Avenue. And then she goes, where the homeless have their homes. And it is like absolutely the most hilarious thing you've ever seen in your entire. Just Google Jessica Simpson Jewel duet and it will come up for you immediately. Like a supercut of just the worst parts. I know for a fact that she had this like variety show that only lasted like probably 6 episodes because it was absolutely ridiculous and stupid. But like they were like parlaying them into being like Sonny and Cher. Do you know what I mean? Like they were humongous celebrities.
Why is it that Nick Lachey gets all of these opportunities with his wifeys that he just should not have? I know this is not about Nick Lachey, but like, why is he always positioned to be Sonny and Cher, or I don't know, whatever him and Vanessa are trying to do with Love Is Blind? Like
they don't know either. They don't know.
He's just given opportunity after opportunity. And I do want to go back to one thing because I'm just remembering that we completely forgot about the song "I Do" that came out based off of the Newlyweds.
Oh yeah,
it was their wedding song. Do you remember that?
Yes,
I do cherish you.
And that's a song that's like in the opening of the show.
Correct.
That's Jessica Simpson's "This Is Me Now."
But here's my thing that I'm thinking, like, has she been creative genius this whole time, like orchestrating all of these things? Because then if you think about it, right, she goes on to, like, she's a billionaire, I think, from her shoes.
She is. She's 100% a billionaire.
She's a billionaire. So maybe she was the smart one all along. She was the one that was orchestrating all of these things for them behind the scenes. Her marriage goes kaput. She realizes she's not a talented singer. And she figured it out.
Well, in her memoir, she writes, we're fast forwarding a million years, but she writes this memoir a couple years ago that is actually like a very good book. Like it actually tells all of the stories. She had a really good ghostwriter that helped her like write the book and like really make it good. And she says like, as I got more famous, Nick got more upset. Like, you know what I mean? Like my star was on the rise. He was a star and I was this up and coming person. And then I got more famous than him. And then he like resented me. And so that was a thing, was like, she had to like drag him along because that was like their whole thing. But like she was the star and then got the Dukes of Hazzard and she got this and he was like furious about it.
I hate him. I hate him so much.
He's the worst.
I hate him.
Do they chat, do we think, anymore? Do we think they have any relationship whatsoever?
Because because they were getting divorced and it was something about like a prenup. Like he wanted to get a prenup when they got married. And then when they were getting divorced, I think either they didn't sign it or they did sign it. And so it was like, whenever they're getting divorced, like she would have needed to give him like so much money. And her dad was like, no, like, let's fight it. Like, fuck him. Like, we're going to be, meanwhile, her dad's a fucking monster and gay, by the way.
Wait,
and
tell me more. Tell me more. I need to know about the dad.
Her dad's this huge monster and is like, fuck him. Like, let's not give it to him, because like Nick would always like go up against the dad and they would always fight and argue about stuff. Like the dad was the patriarch and then Nick was like, but I'm the new patriarch. And they would like butt heads the whole marriage. Then they're fighting. And then Jessica says, like, Dad, just give him whatever he wants. Like, I just want to be rid of him and I'll just make all that money back. Like, I promise you. And then she writes in her book, like, and I did that and $1 billion more, which was like.
Is she still making shoes?
Yeah. Her shoes and bags are like, everyone says the Jessica Simpson heels are really well made.
They're
good price point, like durable, like ones that you buy and you keep forever and you like tell all your friends. And she's made like truly $1 billion off of that like shoe/bag empire.
She also had like a hairline with, remember Ken Paves?
Yes.
I can't.
Her friend, yes.
With the hair.
They had businesses together as well, like either Wiglets or whatever.
Something.
Something
I think
like
you're
that.
right. You're right. Oh my God, Ken Paves, that name. I haven't heard that name in ages. Jeez. He was like, iconic.
He's like with Rachel Zoe somewhere having a
actually
something. Yeah.
Rachel Zoe should be fixed.
We'd have to find her first. She needs to be resurrected.
Could we fix her to her face? We could find her.
She's around.
Can we fix her to her face? How would that go? Who if we started fixing people to their face, we'd be in danger.
We could do it. I think people would do it.
She has a podcast. She would definitely. I think
people would do it. Anyway, one thing I will say about about Newlyweds and like their show, it's like their show is just now like people's Instagram stories. Like if you watch an episode of Newlyweds, it is truly just like them doing menial tasks around the house and us like thinking it's funny. And I'm like, oh, this is like what you do on your Instagram story now.
Yeah. No plot. Absolutely no plot.
Like one thing was like, oh, they bought like a jacuzzi, but they needed to like get a forklift to like bring it into like the second floor or something like that. And it was like, okay, like what the hell is this? Like this isn't a storyline, but it was at the time and like riveting.
Yeah.
Jessica went to a store and like bought a bunch of clothes. Like that was a storyline that you watched for like a whole episode.
Well, their dream marriage ended, and then she ended up marrying an NFL tight end. God, I wanted to say it like that the moment I read it on Wikipedia. And what is this guy's name?
Well,
it's Johnson. It's
Tony
Eric Johnson,
Romo,
of course.
Right? I thought she married Tony
was
Romo.
Tony
No, before that, she was dating Tony Romo.
Right.
And everyone was like crucifying her for coming to the games. Do you remember this?
What? Because they were losing?
Because they were losing and they were like, she's distracting him by coming, like, fuck her. Like,
oh, come on.
Oh, my word.
Which is like, I just re-listened to Chelsea Devantez's episode about her memoir. And like, she talks about it a lot that she got like beat up in the press that she was attending, which now like Taylor Swift was the whole point of the Super Bowl this past year. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, like that was all that anyone cared about was like watching Taylor Swift and Blake Lively like scream in the box.
I would love to know what Jessica Simpson thinks about that. Like if she has any opinions and if she's voiced them anywhere, I would give anything to know what she's saying behind closed doors.
Do we think they're friends?
Probably not. I don't think she's friends with many Hollywood people anymore.
Where does she live now? I want to know what she does. Like what's her life?
I don't know.
She's really out of the spotlight.
She had her like line. She had her shoe and bag line. And then she was on that show that was like buying. Remember it was one where you like they bought the fashions and it was like a Macy's buyer. And then, do you remember what I'm talking about?
No. Yeah. It was like, was it called Fashion Star?
Fashion Star was what Daniel
with Nicole
was on.
Richie. Nicole Richie did Fashion Star as well.
But
no, that
Jessica Simpson.
She was a mentor on the NBC reality television series Fashion Star with Nicole Richie. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Well, that's our friend, Zero Waste Daniel, was also on that show. That is so funny because it's like she became like this mogul, like, you know what I mean? Of like, I think she was like the buyer for Macy's or whatever, because that's where all of her stuff was.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like we didn't give her the respect. Like now you hear like Selena Gomez is a billionaire, like Kylie Jenner is a billionaire. Like we don't give Jessica Simpson that respect that we give to like Kardashians, Hailey Bieber,
because she didn't do it when she was under 21 years old. That's why she did it when she was like in her mid 30s. And you know what happens to a woman in her mid 30s? I can tell you she becomes invisible like me. Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, brother, with that one. Get out of here. But this is, it is like funny because she was like that before all these like younger big mogul, quote unquote, people. She like really is a mogul. You know what I mean?
Honestly, she was like the pioneer of that. If you think about it, she's the first person, one of the first really big celebrity brands. But the brand was never about her. It was always about the shoe. It was always about the affordable shoe. Like she wasn't really a part of the ad. She wasn't part of the whole campaign. Like if you think about Hailey Bieber and Rhode, she is that brand. She's the
it's
star
her
of every
face on everything.
It's her face. She's become like she's a huge part of the zeitgeist. Jessica Simpson was always like, here's my $20 Hoochie shoe. You can get it at Marshall's. I am the licensing queen.
She did workout clothing. She's done a lot of stuff. Like she's sold a lot of stuff.
She put her name on everything.
She was on
everything at Marshall's.
HSN. It's like she's done like that's the thing. It's like she's been sort of under the radar for such a long time doing stuff. But the only time she breaks out mainstream wise is like if someone's talking about her gaining weight or having an eating disorder, or there was she went public about having a drinking problem in recent years as well.
Yes.
Yeah, she's sober now. I think she's
Yeah.
sober.
In her memoir, she basically like got on all these pills and they like were supposed to be for weight loss, I don't know, or like sleep or something. And she could just drink she could just like drink because it kept her awake or something. So she was able to drink like forever. And so she just like became an alcoholic. She like,
and she also like, she did some
So
serious
it was Coke.
yo-yo.
The pills were Coke.
No, it wasn't Coke, but it was like,
I mean, that's what Coke does.
But that's what it was. Like that was the effect. It was like basically like she could drink all night long into the morning because she was just on these pills.
Yeah,
Eating
there was like
my pills
amphetamine.
of Coke in pill form. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But she does get dragged for being really heavy at one point, right? Like she was.
And she says in her book, like she was like, I was a size 4. She was like, I was a size 4. And they were saying like, I was like basically like an obese cow.
No, I remember like some horrible photos of her being in like
I think
Star magazine or whatever.
Go back and look, they're not that bad. Jessica Simpson fat.
Because she's tiny, right? That's got to be like, if she even looked thick, it's because she's a little bitty thing like Paula Abdul.
I'm looking at the photos. I'm looking at the fat photos of her. And she does it. She's not a size 0, but she's not a size 6. I'll tell you that much.
Some people it's so funny because it happens to everybody, but some celebrities absorb that abuse or get more of that abuse more than others. And she was, I guess, the more of a sex symbol you're marketed as. And she definitely was.
She was.
Yeah.
You gain a little bit of weight or you get like a chin and a half and it's sort of all over.
Yeah.
Especially after Daisy Duke. Well, I didn't want to say double chin.
Well, no, exactly. You're like Dominic. There you go.
Doing Daisy Duke was you do that, you can't age or gain weight. Like that.
We basically see like labia minora and majora in that freaking outfit. And then you're like, and then to go from that to where we saw in the TMZ article.
I'm not even sure what are those parts that you just mentioned. I don't know if I have those.
You are right, though. It's like the more you are labeled as like a sex symbol, then like any weight that you gain is like a national security measure. You know what I mean? Oh, and also, I mean, like we're completely skipping over where like John Mayer, she's dating John Mayer and he basically terrorizes her every day and is like mean to her and picks fights with her before she's like doing these big, huge performances so that she like messes them up, etc.
Wait, I think she talks a ton about him in her book, right? There's like a huge portion of that book that's about him.
Where he like writes her a song and sends it to her and then like won't answer the phone whenever she listens to it and then waits till 3 days later and then like gets on the phone with her and screams at her about it and like he's a monster.
What a terror.
She is the one that John Mayer described as sexual napalm, if I'm not mistaken, which stuck with her for quite a while.
She's been through the ringer. I'll tell you that much. Her parents were monsters, like, you know, on par with the Spears family as far as like putting her out to pasture to fucking make them money. Then Nick Lachey's a piece of shit to her. Then John Mayer's a piece of shit to her. Then she's an alcoholic. Like, it's not great. Like, she's really been through a lot.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of the victim thing happening there for her.
And again, like earning so much money every moment as she's being beat into submission by everyone around her is like doing brand deals, getting the show, doing this and that, like getting these other, you know what I mean? Like
and having the shit kicked out of her on gossip sites at the same time.
Yes, and like being dragged through the mud at every turn.
Because the education I'm getting about her as we're doing this is like she went through a lot of shit with those rags, but she was making money very consistently the entire time. Like she always had several companies running at once that were paying her bills.
And I like her like being like, I'm not a pop star.
Right.
You know what I mean?
A businesswoman. Yeah.
Like she's like, I'll just like I'm like famous enough. I'm just a celebrity. I can just like do a line of whatever I want and like just make a lot of monty. Right. Like, okay, I'll just do that.
She's never singing again. Like she's never, ever singing again.
When are we going to get to? Then she gets the tight end, as Dominic said, and they get married and he's like amazing, like to her. And apparently like shields her from her family in a good way, which is great. Cause like her dad's a fucking monster.
Is that who she has cause she has children, right?
Yeah. With him.
Okay. What's his name? The tight end.
I don't
Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson, the tight end.
Tight end and his last name's Johnson. How cute that is.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
And then we get to present day where there were some times where she was like putting up some Instagram photos and she looked crazy and people were like, is she okay? And we were like, I don't know. And then she puts out her memoir, extremely, like it received extremely well. People are like, wow, like a lot of empathy for her. Everyone's like, it's a really good memoir. She tells all the stories. She like dishes. She doesn't hold back, blah, blah, blah. Then TikTok sinks its little teeth into her.
Yeah, tell me, because you know much more about this than I. So tell me how this came about.
They have gone back through, much like other celebrities, they've gone back through old performances where we, like when you think back to it, you're like, oh, this was a really good performance that she did. And you watch it and there's one performance in general and she has like a white dress on and she's singing Take My Breath Away.
Yeah.
Which she did a cover of that on one of her albums, like one of her later albums.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
And she's like, it's just like so bad. And she's not belting like we heard her earlier, much like Britney Spears again,
it's
like
different,
not like in her early work where she's belting and actually can sing, like, and she's hitting these notes and then at the end going, like doing that little like girly, like, I don't even know how to do, I can't even do it. Like,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It has to be Googled. It's pretty insane.
Like at the end of a, wait, how do I, let me just
like an orgasm sound?
Jessica Simpson, just like a very feminine, like.
Yeah, play it because we need.
Wait, Jessica Simpson performance.
Yeah, this is not
dress.
on my TikTok algorithm.
So how long ago did that occur and how long ago did they start crucifying?
That was 2004 that she originally sang that. And then this is like last year this.
So 20 years later, 19 years later.
They're like ripping her to shreds. I will have to say, rightfully so. But
I will say, if I had $1 billion and people were talking about me on TikTok, I would not give a single fuck.
Oh, no. I don't think she actually cares.
I would be sitting on my throne on top of my billions and I would just be saying, laugh away. Because you know what? I don't have to do that anymore. Like,
yeah, I mean, she probably didn't even need to do it then. I mean, she has a lot of money. All I keep looking at is all the businesses. Like, I can't get enough of it, actually.
No, yeah, she's truly like a licensing queen. She has her name on everything, cell phone covers, bath towels. Like there's nothing at TJ Maxx or Marshall's that her name is not on.
Yeah. And it all started from those shoes. I remember when we were younger, people would be like, oh, I love those shoes. And they'd be like, Jessica Simpson.
Oh,
and that was like, it was like real. Like it wasn't just like whatever the fuck thing. Like her shoe line was actually like very successful for being like comfortable and affordable.
I think it still might be very successful. Like, I'm pretty sure they're still making shoes. I had 2 pairs that I wore religiously all through college. Same shoe, one black, one tan, both in patent leather. And those were my going out stompers. They were like a 5-inch platform here.
Yeah, humongous platform shoe that you would never, ever wear today, ever in your life.
No, and I had them for years. So I might have just thrown them out in my last move. I'm not going to lie.
But that, like, they really were like, durable, like really what you like, oh, I'm going to spend my money on one shoe. It's this.
Yeah, you could wear those through war.
Yeah.
I'm ready to fix her. I think I was several minutes ago, actually.
All right, good. Okay, great. Let's go.
And it's not, I'm using fix in quotes because I feel like this woman's doing absolutely fine.
Yeah, she's doing fine, but there's something, I like feel sad for her though.
But maybe
when I think of her, I'm like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like,
maybe it's not a fix. Maybe it's more of a like, this is how we bring her back into the cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah, that is what this will be. Yeah, we'll still tangentially call that a fix for sure.
Tangentially, wow, what a word!
Thank you.
Oh my god,
I use it often.
That's 10 points in Scrabble.
I use it often.
All right. I really don't know what I want to say, but I'm going to think. Give me 30 seconds.
I mean, we can take a break if we need to.
I could sing, I want to love you forever. And this is all I'm asking.
Yeah. You know, one thing that she did too that I remember vividly, she had a show, this after she got divorced from Nick, her, and I think that hairdresser that you guys were talking about, and her assistant. Remember her assistant that she got LASIK with, that like they both got LASIK so neither of them could drive the car home?
What was her name?
Remember that? Like, again, classic, beautiful scene of reality television. Like, we both got LASIK and neither of us thought about who would drive home. Like, incredible.
Meanwhile, there's like a whole team of people that could drive them home, right?
But they'd like call her mom to come pick them up and they couldn't see the it was incredible. But that assistant that was like her best friend, and then They did a show where they went to all these different countries and talked to different people of all walks of life about like what beauty was to them. That was like way ahead of its time and was something that they could do now and be like very successful. Actually, that might be my pitch.
Well, then you shouldn't have reminded us of it.
Okay, here I go.
Is this it? Are we at the arena?
We're there. I actually think this is I think that redoing that show is actually my perfect pitch for her. She doesn't need to do anything. She's a billionaire. She can sit on her money for the rest of her life and have her thumb up her ass and she'll be fine, good to go. I want her to do a version of that show that she did that I watched it was only one season and I watched every single episode of it with my college friends in our dorm rooms, where she went all over the world, like talking about beauty standards.
Yeah.
And like what beauty means to these people. And like, again, it was one of the episodes where they went to Africa and they like talked to these women that lived in huts and they were like, we're a tribe. And like the fatter that a woman is, that's like more beautiful because that means you can eat. And she was like, at the time was like breaking down stereotypes, which was, you know what I mean? And they were like, we don't have deodorant. This is the deodorant we use. And it's like this weird like clay that they make out of a pot.
It was called The Price of Beauty. I just found it.
Yes.
Ken
it was, which PS
and,
was good.
Yeah, Casey Cobb. I have no recollection of this show.
I want her to do a 2024 version of that show where she's like going around to different places and even like going to like South Korea where they like inject the like those like saline donuts in their forehead and just like, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
There was this weird trend a couple years ago where all the South Korean beauty influencers were like injecting like saline into their foreheads to make these weird donuts on their forehead. And that was like that was cool. Like go talk to those people. Go talk to those people. But I would love to hear why. Go around and just, again, with your assistant if you want, or like your kids, I don't even care. And just go talk to random people and like talk about beauty. I think there's something so cool about that where she's like, I don't need to do this, but I'm gonna do it. And just like, it could even be a YouTube show where she just is on YouTube doing it. I think that would be a good fix for her.
Like a modern day Princess Diana.
That's your pitch?
Sure. Oh my God. And that's my pitch.
All right. I am looking at her dossier, if you will, and we're talking about her. And I'm realizing that this person that we thought was like a bit of a loser because publicly it's just like, oh, she's just fat or an alcoholic and blah, blah, blah. But she's like been under the radar, owning all of us for quite some time. So I think that she should just open Jessica Simpson University, and it should be actually like, it could be actually a women only university with very specific, gender specific about surviving in the business world, putting all the bullshit aside and just making money, because that's what she has done in the face of being a bit of a clown. Like everything we're talking about is sort of clownish, but through the whole thing, she's becoming a billionaire.
Yeah, like build an empire.
Yeah,
Laughing all the way to the bank.
Reputation be damned. So, and you guys are even talking about like the shoes and all the other products and how they were viewed as very good quality. Like you never say that about celebrity.
No, like ever one time
ever.
after.
Yeah.
So I think that she's got something to say, and I don't think she should just go to the Learning Annex or do a TED Talk. I think this is like
as much as the three of us would be in the front row.
Sure,
of her
if
at
it
the
was
Learning
one
Annex.
thing, sure. But I think her next business venture is to open a university.
Make an ebook.
Dominic, I don't hate it.
And that is my pitch.
I don't hate it at all. Paula, you know what you have to do now.
It's a little tough because I would love to actually see her back on television, just because I think that she deep down really is funny, regardless of whether she's an evil genius and knows it or not. Mm-hmm. And I do love the idea of that show. Although your pitch is unoriginal, Chris, I do think it's the better pitch. Sorry.
How dare you
I
both.
just,
How dare you both.
I just,
I thought I was losing. I thought I was losing 100%.
No, I think that yours for Jessica it will be better for her. It will get, even though like it is great, She has incredible business acumen. I think that, and I'm always a proponent for like, putting women in charge. But I just think for me, I'm very selfish. I love Jessica Simpson and I want to see more of her back in the public, which is why I'm going to go with Chris's very unoriginal pitch.
That's fine.
Slam.
As long as
Slam,
his
by the way.
unoriginal pitch and your lame reasoning are made public. Your misogynist behavior is noted.
Oh God, hilarious. No, but
congratulations.
Congratulations. You're a winner, baby.
Why does she not have a masterclass? That could have been a great pitch.
Masterclass is
Why
good.
is she not on masterclass for like branding?
She very well might be, and we just don't know.
No, I feel like I see the ads. I think I have masterclass.
No, I don't think that she's respected in the way that like she should be, to be completely honest with you. I don't think that anybody really realizes what she's done with her Jessica Simpson
and it feels
brand.
intentional for some reason. It really does.
I think she's a smart cookie. And unfortunately, we remember her from Chicken of the Sea.
As a dumb blonde.
As a dumb blonde.
Yeah. I mean, that and only that.
She needs like a little bit of crisis PR. Like I think that she just didn't have good people on her team. They weren't able to she didn't have good people on her camp. She did no crisis PR. And then she was like, yeah, you think I'm dumb? I'm going to laugh at myself all the way to the bank. I think she took life by the heels.
Oh, bro. Oh, goodbye. And like despite everyone in her family like being money grubbing pieces of shit. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I forgot about her dad being a complete ass. I forgot about
her
it.
dad is like showing up everywhere that we'll have him with like an 18-year-old boy who he's like just banged out in the car on the way there.
What? I'm sorry. I don't know any of this.
Yes.
What?
The dad, I read somewhere, allegedly, that the dad was like flying to New York from LA, leaving the mom, banging young boys in New York, like freshly 18. Like, I'm not saying anything below that. I'm saying like of legal age, but like young. Horrible. And like around with them. And then he was like a photographer. Like he like took Tom Sandoval's photos like on Vanderpump Rules one year. And he was dressed like a freak. And he was like gonna have like a fashion line. And it was these weird clothes. And he was like dressed almost like, I don't even know. Like he's a mental pain. Like he is fucking weird as fuck. And like definitely gay. And was a monster. He was Jamie Spears 2.0. You know what I mean? Like was always like needing her money, was always doing this, was always doing that. And now he's like, it's bad.
Did he have a Southern gay accent? I picture him sounding like Leslie Jordan. Am I close?
No, yes, you're completely close. He was like, what's his name? Todd Chrisley. They sounded exactly alike.
Oh my God.
Speaking of homosexuals.
Oh my God.
Never want to be compared to.
That's a great
that would
show.
Be it.
Would you ever fix him?
We did.
We tried.
You did?
We tried our best.
Unfixable, right?
Well,
we did. We tried it. I mean, he's in jail still, so.
This is true. And now you just fixed Jessica Simpson.
Did we?
She should be fixing us. It's embarrassing at this point.
Yeah. We had bite off a little bit more than we can chew. Paula Sanders. Tell everyone where they can find World Your Oysta.
Well, everybody, you can find us at our new handle. It's at WYO.pod. Please give us a follow there. Brand new account, as I just said, new energy, whole new thing. And definitely start listening to the show. We launch on 11/11, which is a Monday. New episodes will come out every Monday. I'm interviewing very iconic founders and creatives, most of them New York City based, most of them females as well. People that are just like kicking ass, kicking names and making shit happen. And it's a ton of fun. So I hope to see you all there. And I do a much better job there than I did fixing people today, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not that funny.
You did a great job here. You did a great job here.
So basically your podcast is basically Dominick.
It's Jessica Simpson University. It's her podcast.
To be honest with you, yes.
And she rejected it.
Your
pitch.
pitch.
No wonder she just she doesn't want competition, Dominick.
Like,
that's why she didn't pick you.
Yeah, this is sounding a little familiar. Unless she's starting a media company, it's going to pick up my show. It's going to be a no for me.
Yeah. Oh, brother. Well, we did it.
We did it.
Dominick, where can people find you?
The website's domandterry.com, where you can be linked to the 10 cities where I'm doing my holiday tour this year. Christopher, where can the listeners of our podcast find you on the World Wide Web?
They can find me at the Chris DeRosa. They can find the show at Fixing Famous People. They can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Fixing Famous People. And listen, get those a la carte episodes. We're finally doing them. You can get them on the Patreon $5 tier or the Apple subscriptions. And that's it. I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.